What up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today. And yes, I am finally back with a bit more league racing action. I know it's been a fair while since my last league racing video. I do apologise all in advance, but here's a reminder of the championship standings going into the Japanese Grand Prix. So New Zealand Ryan has a 30-point lead over Warden. We're sitting comfortably there in 13th, I think it is, even though it's a glitchy table. Constructors, Force India, they've been close to wrapping up, if not wrapped up. The Constructors, McLaren are sitting in 6th place. Still got a good battle there with Williams for 5th in this Constructors race anyway. So you'll be able to just watch all the qualifying highlights. Like I said, it's been a long while since I've done these videos. I've been trying to get them out eventually, but you know, just between here come all the excuses, like as always. But you know, the lack of motivation was just there, and just thought my work was just busy as always. So yeah, hopefully these next few videos, I probably said it in the last few videos anyway, but they should hopefully all come out very, very soon in the near future. But here we are for the round number, like I said, they're here at the Japanese Grand Prix, one of my favourite circuits actually. And here we go, flying into turn one here. You know, flat attack, but absolutely make an absolute meal of it. I've said that twice in one sentence, but yeah, that's pretty much ruined my first run there. So pretty much had to back out of it, and I did fill up the car for 2 runs just to make sure if I did stuff up the first run, I'd have another crack. But unfortunately, I just cut the curb a little bit too much going out of the final couple of corners there. So I basically thought it's not worth just going around again. So I abandoned it and come straight back into the line, into the lane. Apologies about the, it's been a while since I've done a voiceover, so I might be very rusty anyway. So I think we're just going to see a few replays. He's Neon Freedome coming very hot into the pit lane. Nice try, Neon. It does get caught on camera, but he's Owen's getting a little bit wide there coming out of, I think that's the Dunlop curb there. So he's not off to the greatest starts in qualifying. So anyway, you can see he's still got 6.5 minutes to go anyway, so in this quali session. So I took all the fuel out, and I probably went a little bit early for this second run just to, just to try and get a lap time in. We've still got, I think when I came across the line here, there was about probably 4.5 minutes left to go in the session. So I probably went out a little bit early compared to everybody else, but I just wanted a bit of fresh air anyway. So this is actually going to be my fastest lap of the race. See, I took it a little bit cautiously coming into this turn 1 and 2. Now we come into the long S curves here. Nearly took a flat attack. I was pretty much, well, yeah, pretty much just going flat attack as best I could through here. Can nearly take it flat. You just see just a tiny little lift off there coming out of the Dunlop curve. Now coming to the Degners, you can take it nearly flat out. Wasn't quite committed to the, but I really stuffed up a Degner 2 there. Probably cost myself a little bit of time there. Now coming up to the hairpin now. That turns 10-11. Felt okay coming through here. Just trying to avoid the wheel spin. Wasn't too much coming out of it. Now sizing up coming into the spoon curve here. This long back straight here as we go very late and get it nice and tight there. I did probably stuff up a little bit, not hitting the curb too, getting close to the apex. Now coming down this fast back straight. Going to size up 130R, which is definitely flat attack through here. Full commitment right out to the curb here. You break about the 75 metres coming into the last couple of corners. Did not want to stuff up this corner. Actually went perfect through there. And then you take the shortest line to the finish line as we come across the line and do a 120, what was it, a 128.6, which put me in P3, which I thought, I was pretty proud of that. I thought it was, you know, pretty decent for pretty much only like one run in the end. On a pretty much fresh set of rubber anyway. So here's a few more replays while I was watching. That's Poms to the win. That's actually had a spin right underneath the bridge there. And that pretty much, I think, screwed his qualifying. So HO got pole position with a 127.8. Greek Master in his return gets second. Who else was there? both New Zealand Ryan there in 4th. Myself at P5. I was pretty surprised to finish up in P5, actually. Harry Ryan, another one who's returned. He's P6. My teammate was down a bit in P8. He's just behind Warden. But get to the race. It is a little bit wet to start with, but it is planned to dry out later on. This was probably not ideal because I'm not a master in the wet, but here we go. We're all set for round number 13 here in Japan. 5 red lights. Let's do it around Suzuka, and it's a very slow start. I could tell you, Neon Trino did not have the greatest of starts. New Zealand Ryan tried to go up the inside there, a Greek master, but Greek was having none of that. Neon's going well wide there. I actually got the warning there for just running a little bit wide. Greek's actually run wide, so that's now put us up into P3. I was actually surprised I survived the first couple of corners. I was just thankful, really, that I just didn't get taken out in any way or follow cars coming through the first couple of corners. But you can just see it's just so tippy-toe through these couple of sections here. You don't literally know what to think around here, but just coming through the Degners, I probably went too deep coming through there, and that was pretty much a lost spot there to Harry, getting a bit too much caught up on the curb there. Maybe a little bit tangled up with Greek Master. RBR actually has left the session. He was having big connection issues, but just getting sideways, just trying to put the power down. And there was a few guys behind me, but all of a sudden they sort of disappeared a little bit. There is yellow flag action, so it may have been a coming together, but just coming through 130R now, first time out. Couldn't quite take it flat. Actually had to shift back all the way down to 7th gear as, oh dear, Pansky is already out of this race here in Japan, but it's HO still leading the way, I think, but it's a battle. Greek Master, DRC Jared are banging wheels coming down the front straight, literally right behind me, but you can see taking it so cautiously. Harry's just run wide there, but managed to just hang on there, and I think Jared possibly is going to get out the inside of Greek Master, and yes he does, so nice move there from DRC Jared. Now coming back through the spoon curve, taking it so cautiously, as I think Jared's starting to catch up to me now. You probably see that proximity error. I knew probably Jared had a bit more pace than myself, and you can see there, look at that, he's got a much better run coming out of 130R there. He had a little bit of a lock-up, maybe a little bit of a shove there, but he got the move done, and that's now dropping us back into P5 and Jared up into P4. Just look at it, we're just trying, everybody's trying to get the power down. It's just so hard through these conditions. I will point out that Jared did apologise to me afterwards, but to be honest, I was completely fine with that. It was a racing incident, but Jared just running a little bit wide there, and nearly like what Harry did on the second lap there, but now I've got Dominator, who's moved up into 6th place, so Greek's not having the best of runs. Greek's not the best in the wet weather. I mean, if he does tidy that up a little bit in the next game especially, he probably will be a gun, because he's an absolute weapon on the dry. You've probably seen it in a few of my videos again, but just look at that. It's just, I wasn't quite confident of going flat through 130R there. Just did not have the greatest of runs through the last couple of corners there, and you can see there just losing the back end, and that's just easy work there for Dominator. Up in the P6 he goes, now just going to sit in behind here on lap 4 we go. So, I mean, I've dropped a few spots already, but that was completely fine. These guys ahead of me probably got a bit more pace in the wet. So, just trying to hang on behind you. Look at the rear end of Dominator's thing. It's just so wide there, and yeah, just cautiously. I've tried hanging with Dominator for a bit, but he did get away from me a little bit here. So, it's now coming through the hairpin section now. You can see there's another bit of a battle going on there. Greek Master and I can't remember who the other one was. I should actually point out it might actually be as we get our second warning there for the race. We do have a special guest this race in the form of Cameron Waters. If any of the Supercars followers don't know who Cam Waters is, you probably living under a rock for so many years. But he was a special guest for this race. So it's great to have him here. I think there was a move there. Harry may have had a little mistake there, and Jared actually got by. So now you can see Dominator just putting so much pressure on Harry there, and just coming up into the hairpin now. I'm starting to catch up to these guys here, but let's just see this. They're still quite getting away from me here. A little bit of a lock up there. Just managed just to get through that chicane there. Probably lost a bit of time to the guys up in front there, which I probably didn't care about. So here coming through the Degners again. It's so wide there, and yeah. The rest says itself, really, and it's just so sideways coming out of the corner there, and that's really lost momentum there. You can see Greek going right around the outside. I tried holding him off for a little bit, but you can just see now, yeah, I probably just didn't quite have enough. Probably that run off into the gravel, and the two Degners didn't really help my cause, but in this scene now just losing the rear end a little bit there. I did try to hang like it earlier I said with Dominator, but yeah, tried holding it with hanging with Greek Master, but you can just see I'm just not confident at all in these wet weather conditions. I'm just hoping that the dry weather would come soon, because I felt like I have all pace in the dry weather compared to the Inters conditions. But here's the replay on board with Harry Ryan. This is his first race in SRL for quite some time, so good to see Harry back in the series. You can see how wide Neon went off the road there, and Greek Master as well. There was a little bit of yellow flag action in the background. It'd probably be for all the cars going off there, but you can just see, look at how sideways I was. And just Harry just taking it so cautiously there. He's probably got Greek Master right up his tail there as well. And you can just see, look at that, just losing the back end every single time, every single corner. And coming up to the Degners now, you'll be able to see I run well and truly wide there, and that's just easy pickings for Harry there, and up the inside he goes. Pretty simple move for him, so that was up into P3. Now, you have two replays here. Main screen Penske, as that's DRC Jared, who had to avoid possibly Owens, I think it was. It did not have the greatest of starts at all, so I believe these guys... Oh, Jared getting a little bit sideways. They're getting tangled up with Penske's teammate, I think, pumps to the win, so there was a few other cars off. I think my teammate was off the road there as well, so not the greatest of starts for my teammate. Now let's going to see what's going to happen here up into the hairpin. There's actually a few go. Oh, it's Warden, I think, and Cameron Waters getting into each other. So that would explain what the yellow flags were all about. Probably have a bit of onboard footage from those guys a bit later. You can just see how sideways Penske's getting now. He's got Cam Waters straight right up his rear end, but he just loses the rear end, and he's just really a passenger there. And well, you can understand Penske's frustration here. Now let's have a look with Cameron Waters and Warden in the top right there. So it's probably not quite up there for a move was Cam, and fortunately Warden's got spun around there, so not the greatest of starts for Warden. He's really dropped back through the pack. This is what it looked like from DRC Jared. Does record his party chat, so as you can see there, you'll be able to hear the reaction.
Fuck's sake.
There you go. There's the reaction from Cam himself. So, but this battle was so awesome. Literally right behind me. There's obviously Penske retired. So, just Jarrett, look at that. Jarrett's just getting a little bit more drive, a little bit sideways coming out of the corner there. They do actually tag there, as you can see. Greek just trying everything to hold on to his position. As Cam Waters is just having a few words there to Jared, but just ran a little bit too deep there. Actually got a little bit of a tag there from Jared, and there you go. That's easy pickings for him. So that was up into P5. You're probably going to be able to see the replay. Look at that. He's just got a much better run there. Actually got tagged my rear end as well. He's just had a big lock up there. Only just got through the corner, like I said, and up into P4. Some nice strong words there from Cam Waters. Now let's have a look at the replay from Owens. I don't think he went anywhere off the start. That'd probably be why, because his revs are way down, and you can just see that he's just been absolutely swamped up the line. There's a little touch there with that laggy person as well. So let's see here, is he just going to stay out of it? There's a few guys off the road. Poms is off. I think Zombie Hunter's been spun around. So Zombie's not having the greatest of races. trying to get some championship points for Ferrari, especially that Ben was not here for this weekend and hasn't been since, I think, possibly, what's it been? Last couple, maybe, at a rough guess. So, or maybe just one or two, I can't remember. He was definitely missing 3 races. I can't remember what race he was, but this is what happened. Just pretty much in the car park here, just sitting behind Laggy with all that kerfuffle that was going on with Mr. Waters and Warden, as having a little battle there with Neon Tridome, and Owens wins that battle for now. But now Neon going for a big dive bomb up the inside. There he goes at the final chicane, and actually manages to get it done. But don't know, Oh, look how sideways that was for Neon. Wowee, that would have looked pretty awesome. Now, let's have a look on board with Laggy from the start. You can see, look at everybody just trying to avoid Owens. Actually, Laggy had to go into the grass. It actually does get the spot as well, so nice job, Laggy, for avoiding everybody. Now, getting close to his teammate there, Dominator. He's way down the order. You see it down in 11th. I don't know how the hell he made up that many spots in the first few 6 laps. That was my teammate, obviously, like I said. You can just see how sideways everybody's getting through these couple of corners. That was Laggy just running wide there. Probably not comfortable going through, 130R flat attack. But as you can see, look at Neon really struggling to get onto the power there, and lost him a heap of time. Now, I think this possibly could be the last one. I'm not really sure, but he's on board with Zombie Hunter going down into turn 1, and oh dear, he's gone in way too deep and pretty much spun the car. Pretty much nearly what I did in Japan in AOR last season. So not been the greatest of starts for Zombie, and it's pretty much put him dead last after all that. He's just trying to get back onto the power and just trying to catch up to the pack as best he can. As you can see there, only a little tangle there with Neon Tridome, as I think it was Warden, I can't really remember. Doesn't help when the screen's freezing so much, but this was a bit later on lap 7. He's going for a move up the inside here on Neon, and he might get it done, does he? Yes, he does. So that's him up in the P12. I nearly said P7 then. It's actually lap 7. So my bad, but is a replay from, I think this is on board from Penske's point of view. So this was a Greek Master, and Cam Waters running very wide there. Tried to hold on to the position, but unfortunately couldn't. So now he's, there's a little tangle with Poms for the win. Now, Poms has just not been having much luck lately either, but there's Cam still struggling coming out of the Dunlop curve there, and is a replay. He's still struggling through the 2 Deckners. We've got Zombie Hunter's point of view on the top. Look at all these cars. They're just going every which way. And you can see Cam's just off the road there. It's just not been his day at all in this race. And Zombie's still battling away with Neon, I think. But Owen's going very deep into that final chicane. A few of these things may be a bit out of sync, so I do apologise about that. But there goes Warden up the inside, so he's starting to make a little bit of a comeback here. Here's Warden. I think, let's see what Owens can do. No, he just decides to back out of it there, just to let him go, I think. But look how sideways he gets, and off the road he goes. It's so difficult to get the first couple of corners right. It's just impossible nearly to take it flat, especially in the wet weather. But just getting through the fire, it's the hairpin now. I think Warden has pretty much caught up straight away, and I think Owens has just decided to let him go there, which is, I mean, that's fair enough. So, but anyway, on to lap 8, and we've had a spin. Now that's Harry Ryan off in the Renault, so he's had a spin at the first couple of corners. It is his first race back in a long while, because I think he's been more focusing on the stream work in AOR. So great to have Harry back in the series. But I think that's now my 4th warning of this race. But he's starting to dry up a little bit. But he's more action going on here as my teammate going off the road, and I think he's having a little spin. Is my teammate. So. Not been a great time for his that, Matt. Here's Zombie going up the inside of Laggy, going into the final chicane. There was a little bit of contact there between those two. There's Neon Treedomes in there here as well. Let's see what can happen here going down into turn 1. Zombie's got a bit more pace, I think, compared to Laggy. Is he going to have a think about it? No, probably going to decide to back out of it here and trying around the outside. It's a bit risky there, but I think they just settled in for positions anyway. So, but lap 9, and Greek Masters now made a mistake at the first couple of quarters. Did think I had a good run, but knowing Greek, I knew he would fight, give it a real fight anyway to keep that position. So my teammates now into the lane now, so not the greatest of races for him. I think he was possibly going on earlier for the dry tyres just to check whether it was when the timer was right to get onto the dries, because it started to, like I said, it started to slow up in the wet weather conditions, but you can see they're just holding on to Greek Master, but again, run wide coming through the 2 Deckners and getting my 5th warning there, but I've tried everything just to hang on to Greek Master, but as now Cam Waters is out of this race, so not the greatest races for Cam, unfortunately. Been a pleasure having you in the SRL, but you see now got a strategy change, especially now, and it was getting close, and now you can say it now was definitely close because it's now been confirmed, because it's now time for dries, and pretty much the push now was just to try and get into the lane as quick as we could. The question was, what tyres do you go on? A few guys were questioning maybe the guys that were confident could go on to the medium tyres, but I felt like I was confident get onto the soft tyres compared to everybody else, and you can see I think everybody, the top guys have come in, so I've pretty much followed everybody, so onto the soft tyres to go. Did change my front wing a little bit. I don't know why the hell I got held up there. I don't understand. It's a fair gap there, so as Owen's now out of this race, there's a fair gap between the car and me when I left, between Greek Master and when I left. So, I mean, that's bloody ridiculous, honestly. I could have easily been up right behind Greek Master, but unfortunately, I've now dropped behind a bit more time. So, but these first couple of laps was just trying to suss out like what the conditions were like, and probably taking a very cautious approach here, because I did not want to bin it where it was here, and unfortunately this footage has not been the best here for Water, but even with its little glitchy thing, there was a little battle with him and Harry Ryan. Pushed Harry off. He got an illegal overtake. Harry got the spot back, and I think Poms did as well, but on board with Laggy. He's getting a little bit sideways, and Zombie now finally gets the move done. Oh, just now on Laggy. Those two be having good battles, so let's see what happens here with Cam Waters. Don't tell me he's done the exact same thing as Penske. Oh, yes, he has. Got on the curb too much. And that's pretty much his race done. But let's have a look at what happened with Owens. So that's Harry going straight through the chicane there. So this is Owens just coming straight into the lane now. Getting a big brake lock up, and well, I have to say that's really a first for that I've seen ever. But you can see it, even the Haas crew, they're just, even though the tyre is damaged, they're still changing the wheels. I don't understand how that works, but you'll see in a minute as his car goes there, he puts his car back on track, the wheel goes flying off into the distance. It's probably going to go off to I don't know what's near Japan, but you see Laggy just got maybe held up a little bit because of Dominator, but he lost out so much there, and he's actually, I know he actually stays behind Zombie. My bad, I'm getting all mixed up there, but you see a few guys differing on tyres, a few guys going on the soft tyres. You can, as long as you don't burn up the softs, you can get home with it. Here's Neon Treedo goes straight up the inside here. He's gone on the medium tyres. So I don't think he's got quite the confidence, as is Poms to the win, running very wide there, and Zombie gets an easy pass there underneath the bridge up into the hairpin now. Poms is still going to fight. Zombie runs wide. Poms might just hang on. No, might have to drive here to Zombie, but these two are on different tyres because Poms is on mediums and Zombie's on softs, so there'll be quite a tyre advantage, I think, to Zombie here coming into the spoon curve, and Poms hangs on for the time being. So this will be a great battle later on. But lap 11, Neon Tridome now sets the fastest lap into the 131s, I think it was. Oh, it might have been a bit, sorry, 139s, I should say. My bad, I'm still getting mixed up here, but it just, I think now getting close to having the grip, especially, but run wide coming through the second. Degner got quite a fair gap anyway to Warden, but can't afford to make many mistakes now. New Zealand Ryan, you can see, sets the fastest lap into the 138s. HO now goes into the 137s. I think so does Dominator. There we go, right on cue. So you definitely sell that the times are starting to drop here. But come across the line now. I think we go into the 138s, I think, from memory, even with that mistake. So it was definitely time now for these dries. Warden now goes into the 136s. Excuse me. Of course, he's on a different tyre. He's on the medium, so make a much better run there. You just see we're still setting purple lap times, and Ryan goes even quicker now to the 133s, I think. 35s, I think, my bad. The 36s and 35s. HO, Jared, then Dominator, Greek Master set the fastest laps, but now I've set the fastest laps, so you can tell it is definitely time. These dry tyres are starting to take effect. Warden now to the 35, so these times are really starting to drop. It was pretty cool, I must admit, to have the fastest lap for only, if it was only for a little bit anyway. But here's Zombie still battling away here with Poms to the win here, going into the final chicane. We have try and get a good run here, coming onto the front straight here. Might actually do so. Got DRS. Poms is going to cover the inside line for now. So he's got a fair gap behind, I think, to Neon Tridome. Poms is going to make him do it the hard way here, right round the outside. He gets a warning for his trouble, but can he hold it? Yes, he can. What a move. Right around the outside. That's fully committed right there. Let's have a look at the replay. I thank Penske for his spectator footage, even though his race is pretty much done. Look at that, right around the outside. Going right, nearly ran wide there, and managing to get the position as well. So great effort from Zombie. But now, what do we go into? Right now into the 133s, I think, and yeah, you can see that the times are really starting to drop now. I really lost track of it as I ran a little bit wide there coming out of the final corner there. I think we're into the 133 times now. I said a 134. Zombie now sets a 132. So the times are really starting to drop here. He's Neon Tridome go for a very late move up the inside here on Poms to the win. And I think Poms actually had to cut the chicane there, so I don't know whether he's got an illegal overtake for that, but we'll have to wait and see. He may put up a fight here, but I don't really think Poms is going to put up much for a fight here. I think he's going to let Neon go. And that's Neon now up into the points, so not bad on a recovery from Neon. Now he's on board with Laggy. As you'll be able to see there, and probably tell from the graphic, this was the point where he's downshift to work, and I really feel for him because I've had that exact same feeling. Remember back to AOR in Hungary, had the exact same thing happen to me. It can happen, and just look at the momentum he's lost there, and he's just lost the spot to Is That Matt. Probably not going to be ideal for him now. Like I said, we're into the 132s. Now Ryan has now joined Zombie in the 132s. I think I've now gone into the 132s as well. So I think mostly everybody in the 132 bracket now. It's still setting purple times again, running wide. It's just so difficult getting that second Degner right there. It's just making so many mistakes there. Now HO jumps into the 132s. Dominator goes into the 131s. So times are really starting to drop now. I think the top six, which includes me, so I get another 3-second time penalty. So that's really helping my race. But I think all the top five, including myself, are on the soft tyres. First guy on the medium is is Warden, I think. So as now Ryan jumps into the 131s, I think. So and of course Dominator goes even quicker. So really now it's definitely dries now, and the Greek Master now sets the fastest lap. So we're getting close nearly to the 130s, I would think. But again, Tegna 2. As you can see now, probably if you could tell on the top left of side of things, but and lap 18 again, just making so many mistakes, and this is just allowing Warden to just catch up so much. And now HO now goes into the 131s. It took him a couple of laps later to get into the time anyway, where the top guys were. He's Neon Tree Dome having a spin out of the Dunlop curve, and well, that's pretty much, I think he's race done nearly, but this is going to be an interesting moment because all we go with Laggy, who's my teammate, who's unfortunately desyncing, and yeah.
Front wing is damaged. Performance will be affected.
You could just tell it was inevitable, could you? Couldn't you? It was just going to be inevitable. Now Harry Ryan goes into the, I think, a 131.0. He's way down the order, actually. He's down in, I think, 12th last I checked. He's on the super soft tyres. Now coming to lap 20, the end of lap 21. You can just see how much time I've lost to Warden over these last couple of laps. So now Warden is just going to pressure me so much, but I just wanted to hang on to this position. I think this is, if I hang on to this position, this could possibly be my best result in SRL. Just been a long time coming, I can tell you. Laggy's now out of this race, especially after the bad luck I had back in Canada where I lost connection when I was in a very good position as well. That's, I think, possibly Neon. I do thank Owens for the spectator footage there on the top right when he was on board with Warden there, but you see he ran so wide, but coming off the curb there, and well, I thought better of it, and just decided to let Warden go in the end. I mean, I did think I could put up a little bit of a fight with him, but knowing the pace that he has compared to me, it probably wasn't going to last. So I was, in the end, I was still trying to push anyway, just to see whether I could gain that position back. If he had penalties, I would assume maybe he may have penalties. I'm not sure. I had to check the race stuff, the race director, a bit later on, but big lock up from both of us there. Didn't have the greatest of runs coming through the chicane, but you can just see how much time, look how much drive Warden's got coming out of the final corner there. There's a bit more yellow flag action, I think, so I don't know whether someone spun or something, but Warden made a little mistake coming in the first couple of corners, but I think now it's just going to really pull away now. I think those mediums have probably got a little bit more tyre life compared to the soft tyres, but Zombie came in too quick there and cops a 5-second stop-go penalty, so he's going to have to be really pushing right at the end just to hold on to this position, onto the super soft tyres. So he may make up a bit of time a bit later on here, but now lap 23, again that final chicane, I probably just broke a little bit too late there. Now I'm still hanging on to Warden as best I could, but actually set a personal best there on lap 24. Can't really remember what it was, but I think may have missed my teammate coming into the lane there again. So he's just really, I think, pushing on, like myself, really. He's just trying to go on a different strategy on the super softs, I believe. Now Zombie goes into the 130s, I think. So yeah, as go very wide at the hairpin there. That was a big mistake I did not want to have, especially, but you can see now the tyre wear. It was pretty even, all the tyres all around, which I was very surprised about. But he's on board with Dominator. He's pretty much comfortably in P3. His tyres are really starting to feel the effect. He's got my lagging teammate right behind him. Don't know why you'd be fighting him. As they may have actually got a bit of a touch there from a teammate. So yeah, again, why you'd be fighting the top guys this late in the race? I know you're a lap down, but probably not ideal. As again, that's warning number 7. You can see now that Warden's definitely pulled away. I tried everything I could, but I think Neon's now gone into the 130. So I tried everything, but just didn't quite have enough of it. I did have a fair gap back to Palms to the win I think he was about 20-odd seconds behind. I can't remember from memory, but we're going to come home in a P7. Not too bad after all that. What could have been had I not maybe stuffed up during the wet weather period, or maybe getting the first couple of the second Degner especially, where I kept on making so many mistakes. But this was on board with Dominator. You can see obviously the tyres are very even for him as well. But you can see my teammates still putting a lot of pressure on him. I think he was pretty much just having a bit of fun here on these last couple of laps. Up the inside he goes. And I think Dominator's not really putting up much of a fight there. So anyway, that's Dominator onto the podium there. So, and then this is just Neon just showing off for pretty much the crowd at Japan. It's not been his race, let's put it that way. Compared to last season, well, mainly I think more in TOR when I had that awesome battle with him. It's been a dour day, and he was just pretty much doing donuts for the rest of this this race. I think some of the top guys were not too thrilled about it. Actually collided there with I think New Zealand Ryan's car, and yet he's still doing the burnouts there, even on the grass. Yeah, he tries to get going now. He probably doesn't care right at this point as he actually collides into Ryan's car there, and you can be able to see now he actually gets a 5-second stop-go penalty. So, I mean, he's just, I mean, yeah, I can understand it. But really taking the piss out of it now as he actually comes into the lane just and crashes, and that's pretty much how his race ended. So, anyway. Ryan wins the race from HO and Dominator, so those guys definitely had a lot more pace in the dry compared to myself anyway. Looking back on it, I don't know whether I could have done anything better with the setup. Maybe could have done a little bit something different anyway, but there's results on your screen. Greg Master, his return finished 4th, Jared 5th, Warden 6th, myself in 7th. My teammate finished 10th, even though he was a lap down, and there's a lot of penalties on the screen. Don't you worry about that. Neon and Harry, I think Harry, I can't remember whether they both probably had DNF, so probably not the greatest of returns for Harry. But here's the championship standings after this round. So Ryan had a 47-point lead, so the championship wasn't quite wrapped up. The United States Grand Prix. You can see now the constructors. Force India still, I think, constructors champions, and Ferrari probably be second. So, yeah, and unfortunately, the next couple of rounds, the USA I had to miss because I was away on holiday, but I also had to miss the last round in Brazil because I had a prior engagement due to go to. So, yeah, fortunately, that's pretty much the end for the SRL season for myself. What can I say? It's been a lot of fun battling these guys. Sure, I probably haven't had a lot of great results, but you've still been battling at the bottom half of the 10 especially. But, it's been great fun. Thank you to everybody who's given me their footage so they can be part of this video. It's been an absolute pleasure making these couple of videos and But here's how the championship standings finished up. So after Brazil, so Ryan champion by 59 points over Warden. Ben finished up in 3rd, Jetson 4th, Jared 5th, HO 6th, Zombie 7th, Neon, Poms and Dominator finished up in 10th, even though he took part in, I think, 6 races, but finished on the 3rd on the podium. We finished up in P14, maybe a little bit glitchy because of there's a little issue with the spreadsheets anyway, but there's the constructors, Force India, Dominator, like they always do. So 1-2 for the Force India boys. Mercedes actually finished 2nd, would you believe, over Ferrari. So that's probably not the way Ferrari wanted to end the season. McLaren finished up in P6 actually. So Sauber actually jumped us. So pretty much Sauber and Williams swapped around, and Renault rounded out the grid. But if you did enjoy it, be sure to give it a big smash on that like button. You can leave your comments down below. Subscribe to my channel for plenty more league racing content on F1 2017. Well, at the end, especially now since it's the end for the SRL season for this year. So thank you to the Supreme Racing League guys for putting on another great season. It's been an absolute pleasure, and who knows what may be for 2018. I hope SRL continues because I love racing with these guys and I want to continue on. So until the next time in SRL, it is goodbye and I'll see you all next time.